We're here with a brand new Bloomberg Politics St. Anselm College Granite State poll, and this one, a lot of focus on Jeb Bush. A survey of 400 Republican primary voters in New Hampshire conducted by our good friends at Purple Strategies, one of the most accurate pollsters of the 2012 election. Let's see what it shows. Jeb Bush leads the crowded Republican field at 16%, followed by Rand Paul at 13%. Scott Walker, who's on a bit of a high now, at 12%. Despite strong favorability among primary voters, Jeb Bush still faces some hurdles because of his positions on immigration and his family name. Both of those things are potential issues for Jeb Bush. So, John, let's first talk about Jeb Bush leading in the poll, but there are some cautions in the poll.
Well, yeah, and the biggest one to me, is that general election unfavorable number. I mean, you look at his general election, 35% favorable, 50% unfavorable. That's not only, as you do a little math, 15 points underwater, but at 50 unfave. I mean, I think that obviously has a lot to do with the Bush name. But there's no doubt that, especially compared to our poll in Iowa last week, where Bush was in terrible shape with primary voters, or caucus goers, this is a better, much more encouraging poll for Bush. But he's got things he's got to get through.
This poll done while Walker's surging in Iowa, particularly, but also nationally, getting a lot of good press, and that virtuous cycle of good press leads to good poll numbers, off which he'll be able to raise a lot of money.
And that leads to more good press.
Yeah, and in this poll, his favorables are pretty darn good.
Yes, I mean, the Walker thing, if you look at these numbers in the primary, 44% favorable, 10% unfavorable. Those are fantastic numbers in and of themselves, and they also show he's got a lot of room to grow.
Yeah. Everybody else kind of bunched up. Jeb Bush doing very well with second-choice voters.
Right.
And that suggests maybe he can move up. Chris Christie would have to do well in New Hampshire if he does run. His numbers in this poll are decent, but he's also got a favorable, unfavorable issue.
40% favorable, 46% unfavorable, underwater, and near 50% unfave. That's bad in a state where Christie was horrible in Iowa in our poll, and he's not a little better in Wisconsin, in New Hampshire, but not much better at all.
Normally, you'd say people's unfavorable number, hard to get it in a more positive territory, but I think Jeb Bush has a chance to do that. This poll shows people don't know very much about him. They think that his success is based on his family name rather than anything he's done. I think a lot of New Hampshire Republicans are going to be surprised. As Jeb Bush said this week, when people start to hear about what he's done, I think his favorables will go up, his unfavorables will go down, and I think his horse race number will go up.
Well, and notable in Bush's case is that he's actually in pretty good place with primary voters, strangely, but he's in a worse place with general election voters. Obviously, that tells you that independents and Democrats don't like him very much, and I think that is mostly about, as I said before, the Bush name.
I still believe that there are things in this poll that people can see that suggest when we get to the end of the year and beginning of next year, close to the primary,
time to pick a president time.
Jeb Bush is going to seem like a strong candidate. He's strong in this poll on foreign policy. He's strong in this poll in terms of national security, and strong in this poll in terms of people who think he can win.
We got to go, but I'll just say the one thing that surprised me a little bit, not just in Iowa where immigration's a problem for him, immigration a problem for him in New Hampshire, where that's not usually that big a deal.
The Canadian border.
Okay, we will have much more from our Bloomberg Politics St. Anselm College poll coming out on Wednesday on BloombergPolitics.com and on our show every day, with all due respect.